All right, let's go ahead and look at the xfsdump and xfsrestore commands. So guys, xfs is a file system, and xfsdump is an xfs file system incremental dump utility. So xfsdump backs up files and their attributes in a file system. The files are dumped to storage media, a regular file, or standard output. So some options below allow the operator to have all files dumped, just files that have changed since the previous dump, or just files contained in a list of path names. Okay. So the first one we have here, guys, xfsdump-h is just the same as --help. It's just going to show you a help screen. Okay. We also have xfsdump with some options and -f for a destination, meaning where are we going to put our backups here. Okay. We also have xfsdump with some options and then the file system. So we're telling it what file system to back up. Okay. And we also have a value we can supply to it, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But this tells it what kind of backup to do. All right. Let me just show you real quick that -h option. So -help is always your friend, guys. I use it frequently in case I forget all the different flags available on different commands. Oops. So I can do xfsdump-h. You see I get a nice list of flags and options I can use there. Okay, I'm going to clear my screen. Or I can do xfs-help. Which, oops, need to put the full thing, dump, which does the exact same thing, right? Okay. So guys, this is a good time actually now to tell you what the purpose of the -- is. Okay. Whenever you do this on your command line, the system's going to recognize this as a full word. Okay. So if I were to do -help, the system's actually going to look at each one of these letters individually. It's going to say, okay, well, I know what -h is, but I don't know what -e is. I don't know what -l is, and I don't know what -p is. Or maybe these are actually flags. It's going to actually try to run each one of these separately on your command, okay? However, if I do a --, it's going to say, okay, this is one word. Okay, so -h, in this case, for this particular command, is actually just the shortened version of --help. Alright, so that's important to know. That's why there's two dashes there and why we use single dashes sometimes. Not necessarily related to backups, but it is good to know regardless. So let's move on to our next slide here. So we're going to talk about some features of xfsdump utility. So it can perform backups to regular file images. Only one backup can be written to a regular file though. We can also perform backups to tape drives, which is an old method of doing backups. Okay. We can create incremental backups, which is really going to be what people do most of the time. So guys, to perform a full backup, we will perform a level 0 dump on the file system. Okay. The next incremental backup would be level 2, which only backs up files that have changed since the last level 1 dump, and so on, to a maximum level of 9. Okay? So let me show you an example of that. Move to my virtual box here. I'm not going to actually run the command because I don't want it to back up. It would take a really long time to do it. Or I'm not going to hit enter, but I'm going to show you the command. So I could do xfsdump. I could do a -l for level. I could do 0, 1, 2, all the way up to 9, just as it said. And I can do a -l for label. And I can just say level 1 of /my xfs. Okay. So this is just adding a label, kind of a little guide for yourself. You could even put, you know, the date. You could put the date that you're doing it. End quote. I could do dev /st0/my xfs. Okay. Again, I'm not going to hit enter But let's go ahead and talk about this. So I do the xfsdump command. I put dash level for the level of backup we want to do. I did dash capital L for like a label. So when I look at this, it'll kind of tell me what this is and when I did it. And then I'm backing up the dev slash st0, which of course is just a disk, right? Remember, slash dev, and then dis, and then the actual file system we're backing up, okay? So that's kind of how that command will work. I'm not going to run it. One, st0 doesn't exist on my system. Two, it would take a while to actually back up. You guys don't want to sit through that. So let's move on in our PowerPoints here. Let's talk about the other side of this, which is xfsrestore. So xfsrestore will restore file systems incrementally. Okay. xfsrestore file systems from dumps produced by xfsdump. The two modes of operation are available. They're simple and cumulative. Okay. We notice we have pretty similar options below. We have -H for help, -F for the source of the restore, so where you backed it up, and then where we want to put the restore or the backup. Okay. So as we said, there's two modes here. We have the simple mode, which enables users to restore an entire file system from a level 0 dump. I'm going to go back a few slides here. Remember, a level 0 dump is a full backup. Okay, I'm going to go back to our slide. So this is the default mode. Okay, there is also a cumulative mode, which enables file system restorations from an incremental backup. That is level 1 to 9. Okay, so we could say, okay, on this one, let's only restore things from levels, 2 or 3. Okay, so that way you're only restoring things for the most recent backups, right? So in summary, guys, we talked about backup concepts and strategies, user backups with the tar command, system backup options, the xfsdump and xfsrestore commands. In our next session, we're going to go over common problems and symptoms, troubleshooting steps, repairing general boot problems, repairing the Rub2 bootloader, hard drive problems, restoring shared libraries, and system logs and rsyslogd. So we're going over a lot of troubleshooting in our next session. As always, there are private tutoring sessions for system administrator management. There are weekly, monthly plans available. There's also Linux and Bash scripting private tutoring sessions available. Just follow these links, guys. Thank you so much, guys. This has been a course by coding-bootcamps.com. I've been your instructor, Kevin Downs, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next session.